Canada and the United States share one of the world's most interconnected economic relationships. Millions of Canadian tourists, investors, and cross-border business deals pump energy into the American economy. But what would happen if this money suddenly disappeared? Some U.S. states are so dependent on Canadian spending that losing it could spell disaster. In this video, we explore the 10 states most at risk of collapse without Canadian dollars, exposing the hidden ties that hold their economies together. Number 10. Maine. Maine's quiet coastal towns and forests attract many Canadian adventurers and retirees. Cross-border travel supports small businesses, fishing communities, and artisans. Canadian investment also helps preserve real estate and tourism infrastructure in the region. Without the steady flow of Canadian dollars, Maine's economy would shrink. Roads would see less traffic, cabins would sit empty, and local markets would lose regular customers. Entire towns would risk depopulation, unable to sustain themselves without their northern neighbors. Number 9. Vermont. This small, picturesque state draws a steady stream of Canadian tourists throughout the year, especially during ski season and fall foliage tours. Local economies depend on Canadian vacationers booking lodges, buying local goods, and dining in town centers. Vermont also trades in agricultural products with Canadian partners, keeping small farms viable. Without this economic connection, rural communities would suffer deeply. Tourism jobs would vanish, inns would shut down, and Vermont's quaint charm might become a luxury it can no longer afford to maintain. Number 8. Washington. Washington state's economic health is closely tied to British Columbia through tourism, trade, and transportation. Cities like Seattle and Bellingham see daily visitors from Canada for shopping, dining, and recreation. Ports handle a large volume of goods traveling between the two countries. The loss of Canadian spending would have immediate consequences, from shuttered retail centers to idle transportation hubs. Additionally, the tech and green energy collaborations between Canadian and Washington-based firms would stall, slowing progress in emerging industries. Number 7. Nevada. Las Vegas is one of the top destinations for Canadian tourists looking for entertainment, gambling, and sunshine. The hospitality industry in Nevada thrives on international dollars, and Canadians make up a significant chunk of that market. Casinos, shows, resorts, and even conventions benefit from their presence. If Canadian dollars dried up, Las Vegas would face a severe drop in visitors, leading to layoffs, empty hotel rooms, and shrinking revenue streams. The ripple effects would travel far beyond the Strip, impacting small towns and service-based industries across the state. Number 6. Texas. Texas and Canada enjoy a strong trade relationship, especially in the energy and manufacturing sectors. Canadian companies invest in Texas oil fields, pipelines, and industrial infrastructure. On the tourism front, cities like Houston, Dallas, and Austin welcome Canadian business travelers and tourists alike. A sudden halt in Canadian spending would impact oil production, disrupt jobs tied to joint ventures, and weaken the real estate market in metro areas. Texas might be large and diverse, but this particular dependency makes it vulnerable in surprising ways. Number 5. California. While California is known for its global economy, Canadian dollars play a more significant role than many realize. Canadians invest heavily in California's real estate market, especially in cities like Los Angeles, Palm Springs, and San Diego. Tourism from Canada also feeds the state's coastal cities, ski resorts, and wine country. Tech partnerships between Canadian startups and Silicon Valley firms create jobs and innovation. Without this flow of money, California would see dips in real estate values, reduced startup funding, and fewer tourists filling hotels and tour buses. Number 4. Michigan. Michigan shares a long border and multiple crossings with Canada, making it a hotbed of economic exchange. Canadian businesses support manufacturing contracts, while tourists drive through Detroit for shopping and entertainment. The state's automotive industry is also closely tied to Canadian supply chains. A disruption in Canadian investment and tourism could lead to factory slowdowns, layoffs, and a sharp decline in retail traffic. Cities like Windsor and Detroit mirror each other economically, so if Canadian dollars stop flowing, Michigan's border towns and beyond would face economic turmoil. Number 3. New York. New York's proximity to Canada makes it a key player in cross-border trade and tourism. Canadians regularly visit for shopping, entertainment, and business. Upstate New York, in particular, relies on Canadian traffic for retail sales, hotel bookings, and cultural events. Cities near the border, like Buffalo and Niagara Falls, benefit greatly from weekend Canadian travelers. If this income vanished, retailers would close their doors, local events would shrink, and employment opportunities would rapidly decline. The region's financial foundation would crack without this cross-border lifeline. Number 2. Arizona. Arizona's warm desert climate attracts thousands of Canadian snowbirds every year. They purchase homes, rent properties, dine in local establishments, and contribute to the healthcare sector with extended stays. The economic ripple effect of Canadian dollars touches everything from small family-owned cafes to large real estate developments. Without these funds, Arizona's seasonal economy would face a serious downturn, with many towns seeing reduced employment, abandoned properties, and struggling hospitals that cater to winter residents. Number 1. Florida. Florida is a favorite destination for Canadian tourists and seasonal residents. From its sun-drenched beaches to its bustling theme parks, the state thrives on hospitality, travel, and real estate, all sectors heavily supported by Canadians. Entire towns in Florida owe their prosperity to waves of Canadian visitors during winter months. If Canadian dollars stopped flowing into Florida, local businesses, hotels, restaurants, and even construction projects would struggle to stay afloat. The real estate market, especially in areas like Fort Lauderdale and Naples, would suffer immensely from a lack of foreign buyers. The bond between Canada and the United States is more than just a friendly border, it's a lifeline for many U.S. states. From real estate and tourism to trade and energy, Canadian dollars fuel American prosperity in ways most people never see. If this money disappeared, the economic collapse in these states would be swift and painful. Understanding this relationship is essential to appreciating how deeply interconnected our world has become. Stay tuned for more insights on the hidden forces shaping our world.